Hello guys and welcome back. Today I have such an exciting video for you guys. I am testing out extremely luxurious makeup. I am talking La Prairie, Sisley, Chanel, Dolce Gabbana, lots of goodies. I have created this makeup look right here. I did test out a coral blush and a pink one, so I try to kind of fix the cheeks to match my lips, but disregard that. If you are interested, continue watching, grab yourself something to eat, hang out with me, and let's get started. Before we get into the makeup, I'm going to share with you guys some of my favorite jewelry. I get asked in every single video about my earrings. Where are they from? They want details, and they are from Idol, most of them. And today I have the honor to partner with them. I am so excited, and I'm going to share with you guys a few new pieces. They're just amazing. Idol is a fine jewelry company. They work with 14 karat gold, so you know your pieces will never tarnish. And they also work with lab-grown diamonds, which I absolutely adore. That is a very sustainable way to get your diamonds. You know where they're coming from. The clarity, the shine is out of this world. The diamonds are so sparkly that I had a hard time recording the close-ups. I really wanted to show you the pieces. They're so beautiful, but they're so sparkly, so the camera had a hard time adjusting to that. Now, my favorite thing about Idol is that their pieces are modular. For example, you start with a stud. I have here the size medium stud, and you can add different add-ons to that. You can mix and match. You can wear the studs by themselves. They're absolutely beautiful, but I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite add-ons. My newest add-on is this one right here. This is called B or Bia. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. In Romanian, it's Bea, but it is one of the most beautiful earrings that I've ever seen. It is so sparkly. It is a statement, yet it's contemporary and elegant. I like to pair this one by itself because it is so beautiful. It just needs to stand out. I have the size medium studs. The way this hugs the earlobe is perfect. It looks like a crown, and you can adjust how high or low you want to put it because it has 4 different holes that you could put the stud through. I adore this piece. I want another one. I want to have a pair so I can wear them together for a night out with a really pretty kind of simple dress. It's absolutely gorgeous. In my other ear, I like to stack things a little bit. I have the Leah add-on in the front with the medium stud, and I think I've worn this one every single day since I got it. Next, I have just a simple gold hoop and the Apollo chain that goes from here all the way to the hoop at the top. This chain is probably the one that I get the most questions about. It has 2 small diamonds, and it's such a statement without being too much. Now, the next one is a cuff, and it's cool because you can move it anywhere you want. You don't have to have a piercing, and it has diamonds all around. It is so sparkly and beautiful. This is another piece that it's a statement. I get a lot of questions, and the thing I like about it so much is that it stays put. It's not flimsy at all, and I'm not afraid to lose it. And then all the way at the top, I just have their petite stud, which is their smallest stud. And the last piece I'm going to share with you guys is this necklace. This is such an elegant, timeless piece. It's never going to go out of style. This is 1/2 carat diamond with just their classic chain. The cool thing about the necklace is that it has different lengths, so you can wear it a little longer, mid, or quite close to the neck. I personally like to wear mine on the tightest setting. I think it fits the neck so nicely. Those are some of my favorite Idol pieces, and they did give me a 10% code. It is Tania Wells 10, and you can save 10% on your order. I will have everything in my description box below. Hopefully with this video I was able to answer some of your questions about my jewelry. And again, thank you Idol for partnering with me. I truly feel honored, and I love this company so much. Now let's get into this luxurious makeup, see what's worth it, what did I spend my money on, and what would I repurchase again. I've got my bubbly right here. This is the Strawberry Sunset, and I broke the little top, and you hear it, it's in there. All is well. Cheers. Before I put my primer on, I'm going to spray this a little bit. This is the D'Alba First Spray Serum. I know this is a bougie, very luxurious kind of makeup look, but this is what I have here, and I need a little bit of hydration, something to kind of wake me up and give me some glow. Even though it's not expensive, it feels like luxury. I am going to use my Tom Ford Traceless Matte Primer if I have any left. Yeah, I have, which is like a never-ending product. I was sure I was out of it because it would barely pump, and it keeps going. So I don't know, maybe it had a bubble in there, and that's what I felt, but I'm using this mainly on the T-zone. It's my favorite primer, and I think it's the most expensive primer that I have as well. This is not new, but it is wonderful. It just works so well with my skin, with my pores. It's not drying. It's perfect. So far, I have not been able to find a dupe or another product that does similar things. So to me, this is worth the money. This next product is by far my most expensive makeup that I have in my entire collection. And I've been testing it out for a few weeks now. And honestly, I've been looking at it for a couple of years. And finally, I bit the bullet. This is the La Prairie Caviar Foundation Concealer 2-in-1. That does not justify the price because this is $280 plus tax. So you're over $300 for this little thing right here. Let's all take a moment of silence for my bank account. Never in my life have I thought that I would spend this amount of money on a foundation concealer. I did not spend over $300. I had a 20% off coupon, and I don't think I paid taxes. Anyway, I got this down. I don't even want to look at how much I spend on it, but it was over $200. Let's just say that. So this is their Skin Caviar Concealer and Foundation Sunscreen SPF 15. Why do we have that there? I don't know. It does come with its own little stand and a little brush. And so you can display your wealth on your vanity. Now the packaging, it feels nice. It's plastic. The top feels a little sturdier, but the foundation is in here. And I don't like this whole application thing, but you have a little paddle. And then on top right here, you have the concealer. So I went for the shade Honey Beige NW30. Before I apply the foundation and talk about the benefits and all that good stuff, we just need to take a look at the atrocity of shade range that they offer. There are only 16 shades, and I would say, I don't know, 80% of them are for light skin and light to medium skin. Not even fair or deep or medium deep. So the deepest shade, I think, is W80. Let me double check real quick. Yes, the warm chestnut, and it is not very deep. And the rest look all the same. They truly all look very, very similar. I didn't swatch all of them in store. I just was between two shades, but I really thought that maybe online they have more options, but they don't. So that excludes so many people, and maybe that's a good thing because nobody should be spending that kind of money on a foundation. La Prairie doesn't have a lot of makeup. They're mainly a skincare company, and they use this caviar extracts that are supposed to lift and firm your skin, and you have the same in this foundation. And from other reviews that I've seen, a lot of people seem to adore the foundation, and it intrigued me. I was curious, is this worth it? Now, I obviously haven't had it for long enough to see skin benefits, but I have been wearing it quite a bit, I would say for 3 weeks now. And I'm just gonna start applying it, and we'll talk while I apply. But you could either go straight on your face, or I don't know, I kind of like to take a blob on my hand and then apply. This is supposed to be a medium to full coverage, and you know, I think they are right. Initially when I swatched it, I was like, wow, it feels so light. There's no way this has full coverage, but you can absolutely build it up to a full coverage. I like to wear it more as a medium coverage, but you'll see that it covered really well. A little bit does go a long way. And so, you know, that could justify, I don't know, spending $90 on a foundation like this, but not $300. Now, if I do not look at the price and strictly judge this foundation without knowing the shade selection and the price, immediately I would say, wow. Wow, that is gorgeous. It's probably one of the prettiest foundations I have tried. And I think what's very unique about this is that it's so light. It feels like nothing on the skin, yet you get really good coverage. Even when I try to kind of make it more of a medium coverage, I feel like it covers enough and it still feels like skin. There's no denying that this is a beautiful, beautiful foundation. It looks good over the pores. It just looks good everywhere. I actually wore this foundation in a reel or two on my Instagram, and all the comments were like, wow, your base looks so good. What is it? I'm like, I don't want to say. I don't want to say how much this costs. I don't want anybody to rush and go purchase it before hearing all my thoughts on it. But again, I cannot deny that it is gorgeous. Now, is it worth the money? Absolutely not. No way. And again, money is such a subjective thing because $20 can be so much for a person, and then for the other person, it's nothing. So it really just depends on your financial situation and what you value. Because I have friends that will not spend $40 on a foundation, but they'll spend $400 on their dress. So, you know, it really depends on certain people. But if I had to just tell you, is this worth it? I would say no. You can find Clé de Peau has incredible foundations. Tom Ford has incredible foundations. Hourglass. But it is gorgeous. Look at that. It just gives such a beautiful finish to the skin. It has some glow to it, but it never gets oily. And it blends in. This shade overall, I think, works for me. In the beginning, I thought maybe it's a little light. And I think when I am tan, like when I was at the beach, it was way too light for me. But I think overall, I would still choose this color again. I'm trying to think if this foundation reminds me of any other foundations that I have. I immediately thought of the gel formula from Chantecaille foundation, but this is not that thick or whipped almost. This is thinner, and maybe the Chanel Sublimage without that extra glow and with more coverage. But it is a very unique foundation in the way it feels and the way it lasts throughout the day. And so I don't think if you're going to purchase it, you're going to be disappointed. I really don't think that that's the case unless you have extremely oily skin and you need a very matte foundation. I think if you have mature skin, it would be gorgeous. This would probably be a foundation later in life that I will repurchase and have as my main foundation when I have more wrinkles, because I feel like this would work so well with that. And again, you do get skincare benefits from this, but it is ridiculously expensive. And if you are interested in this, wait for a 20% off from Saks, or Bloomingdale has sales all the time off of beauty, 15-20% off. Do not buy at full price. Now, this concealer, because some people are justifying the price a little bit just because you get the concealer in there, but I do not like this concealer under my eyes, like, at all. It does not work for me, but I love it around the face. This shade is a little lighter than the foundation, so let's just take it a little bit here, just around my mouth. See how it's lighter than the foundation. So what I've been doing, which I should have done probably in this video, is I'll first go with the concealer and kind of conceal any spots. You also get a tiny mirror there. Oh, that's actually zooming in Oh, I didn't even notice. But I will take this under foundation and pinpoint any spots that I want to conceal. You could go under the eyes, but I really did not like it. You know, I thought that it was just too thick for under the eyes. This is similar texture to the NARS little pot concealers. It's kind of like that. It's not a product that I would want to have under my eyes. It does work well right here. And again, it's a very pigmented and kind of full coverage, so you don't need a lot on these spots. If I go here, I can kind of tap that. Just wherever I feel the need to have extra coverage, but because the shade is a little lighter, I will go under the foundation. Let's add a little bit right here. So yes, you do get a concealer in here that I don't think it's as good as the foundation. I almost wish I paid $100 less and don't give me the concealer. I have heard from other people that the foundation oxidizes on them, and I've noticed a little bit within the first 30 minutes. I feel like it's changing a little bit. I've never had an issue where it looked awful on me or orange or too deep. I actually prefer it just a little bit deeper. So just take note of that. Make sure if you're interested, go swatch it in store, wear it, like put it on your face, wear it for an hour or two, and then make a decision, because you don't want to spend that kind of money and it oxidizing on you. For concealer, I don't have a new concealer to test out, but I do have a very luxurious concealer. This is the Sisley-Paris Eye Concealer with Botanical Extract. I have mine in shade 2, and this is over $100, $130. And this also came with a little concealer brush. I actually have been using it, not for my concealer, but I've been using it for just like cleaning around as a lip brush. So what I do with this concealer, and I will say I do love this one, and I'm on the verge of saying that it's worth the money. Again, I got it at some sort of a sale. Maybe I had 15% off. You do get a lot of product right here. Let's see the grams. 15 ml. That's half of a foundation. And you need very little with this as well. This I'm going to use today more as a color corrector because it does have more of this peach undertone. And I intentionally chose the more peachy undertone. And it's beautiful. It's great under the eyes. It covers well. It cancels the dark circles. And I've been enjoying it a lot. I've had this for a while in my collection, and I don't regret spending the money on it. I generally only use this concealer under my eyes. I don't use it anywhere else just because it's that peachy undertone. It helps with the darkness, and I'm not going to waste it on my face. So I'm going to take my Chanel Sublimage concealer. Now, this one, I do use it all over my face. It's not just the price, it's also the texture and the color that the Sisley has, that I just don't think it's wise to use it everywhere. If I had more of a neutral undertone, I would use it all over my face. For this Chanel one, I am in the shade 30, and I love it. I mean, you guys know how much I like it. Another concealer that is quite pricey. I think it's the same as the Chanel, the Tom Ford Shade Illuminate. So that one, I have had it for a while, since it was released, but the shade I got was really bad, so I never really wear it. I did mix some white pigment in it, and that kind of helps, but I just don't reach for that one that much. Again, shade is so important. So for the Chanel one, I like the shade 30. I think it's really nice. Even this one has some peach undertone. I think it's even called a corrector under eye because of that peachiness that it has. I think this is my #1 concealer in my entire collection. I do have a Sisley powder. This I've had in my collection for maybe a year now, and this is their blurring powder. This is in the shade 0 Light. And I don't know if I want to put this on. This powder is meant to be under foundation or over foundation. Under foundation, I feel like it does better because it kind of blurs the pores. But right now, I kind of want to set my under eyes. I may go with this after, just a little bit to blur this T-zone or right here. But right now, I want a loose powder. And for that, I have my Givenchy powder right here. This is in the shade 3. And I'm taking this little puff. Make sure you take a lot of the powder off and then go and set. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the La Prairie powder. And I tried it in store. I tried multiple shades and I was this close to purchasing it. But I decided not to because it is a very intense powder, extremely blurring. It's actually beautiful. I just don't think that I would get my money's worth because it comes in such a big packaging and then you get an extra little one. I'm still undecided. I think if I get a good sale on it, I may pick it up. It looked beautiful under the eye, but it was almost too perfect. I don't know if anybody relates to me, but I don't like seeing like complete blur because if I see that, most likely it comes with the look of some powder. And this had that effect, the extreme blurriness, and it made me feel almost fake. Even though it didn't look cakey, it didn't look heavy, I completely see how a ton of people are loving it. But for me, it was just too much, you know? I like barely their powder. Sometimes I'll even go with a tiny little brush and kind of just powder certain areas. I've been enjoying lately a puff, kind of working it into my hand and then kind of go in small areas. So I'm happy with my Givenchy, but if you are interested in that powder, you have the money and you just want to splurge, it was a really beautiful powder. I won't deny it. And you get a ton of product, like a ton. I don't know exactly the ounces, but it was a big old boy. And they also gave you a replacement. And I probably would just use a replacement and not even open the big one. We need to bronze up a little bit. And I did mention in a past video, Get Ready With Me video, that I wanted to do this try on a very luxurious makeup, and a lot of people asked me to try the Dolce & Gabbana bronzer, and so I did. I got mine from Saks, and since when does Saks charge for shipping? I don't know. I feel like I always had free shipping with them, and you had to spend $300 or more to get free shipping. And so I paid $10 for shipping. And by the way, Saks or Dolce & Gabbana, like their website, are the only places you can buy this product. We actually have a Dolce & Gabbana store, and I went and got the highlighter from there, but they didn't have the bronzer in stock. So this is in the shade 02 Light Medium, and this has so many rave reviews. First of all, it's light, and when I first swatched it, I was like, oh no, 'tis light, 'tis very light, but it works for me. I am taking my BK Beauty 102. I put some product here and let's apply it. I think this is $54 maybe. I paid $70 with taxes and shipping. The shipping was, I think, $9.99. But I really wanted to test it out, and I had so many comments asking me to review it, so I thought, why not? Let's try it on. This is the bronzer. Is soft, is very creamy, and it's matte. I don't see any shimmer in it. Even on my skin, it looks very nice and kind of blurry. I have heard a lot of people say that this is out of this world, amazing, and it's nice, but I don't know. I was expecting something more. I think I've been so into my luminous bronzers, my Valentino bronzer, that this felt a little bit boring. Even though the formula is really nice, for example, I would choose this one over the YSL bronzer because it's a little softer. It seems to blend in really, really easily. And I like the tone. I actually love the tone. It's a softer bronzer and it just looks natural on the skin. So I do enjoy it. But initially I was like, oh, yeah, there's no glow to it. Even though there's no actual shimmer, I don't feel like it's super matte or drying or anything like that. I think it shapes the face really nicely. You can kind of see it on my forehead a lot more. And I like that I am building up the product. It's not super pigmented like the Armani ones. I have to kind of tap off. So I really appreciate that about this bronzer. So is this worth it? I think so. Mostly for the price. It's very expensive. Don't get me wrong. But coming from La Prairie to this, I'm like, $54. What is that? And I also think it's similar to the YSL bronzer. I think the Armani ones were $60. So yeah, I think the price is right for this one. The packaging is nice and very, very sturdy. I think this is a great staple bronzer. It's creamy and it's good to have in your collection. I did reach for it quite a bit, mainly because I wanted to test out the product and kind of see how it lasted. And it has this beautiful effect of blur on the skin just because of how soft the powder is. My face is definitely much more sculpted with this bronzer. And that is the Dolce & Gabbana bronzer. I think it's nice. I think it's worth the money. It did a great job. Very soft blurring. It comes in a nice packaging, very luxurious. Thumbs up for me. For blush, I have a very luxurious blush, and I think this is one of the most expensive blushes on the market. I'm not 100% sure, but these are the Sisley blush highlighter duos. I have here the shade 2 and shade 3, and there's a story why I have 2. I initially wanted the shade Rose. I went in store, swatched it, put it on with like a little sponge applicator because I'm like spending so much money. I wanted to make sure that I liked it. And in that lighting, it looked so washed out, almost like it was too light for me. But they did not have a tester of the shade 3, which is the coral one, which how do you not have a tester for a blush that's $130? But the people there were like, oh, the shade 3 is the best one. There's only one left. And so I bought it. And then I walked to the car, opened it up, swatched it, put it on my cheeks. And I still had the shade Rose on the other cheek. So I was comparing them in the car. And I like the Rose one. Just the lighting in the store was making it look so washed out that I went back and purchased the pink one. And so I will show you both. We're going to start with the shade 2. First of all, the packaging, it's beautiful but plasticky. I was expecting much, much more luxurious, kind of like my Dolce & Gabbana bronzer. This is like 3 times heavier than the Sisley. Do I want a very heavy blush? No, but for the price, I kind of felt like it could have felt just better. However, the imprint, if you can see, it is so beautiful. It definitely is one of the prettiest blushes that I have in my collection. It has some highlighter. You have a few different colors of the pink. It really is beautiful. And let's swatch it. It is this very, very light pink, baby pink. And that's it right there. So let's take this brush. This is a Sonia G Soft Cheek. And I am going to apply the blush here and show you how this looks like. I do think that this blush is a very, very blurring, even though it's kind of highlighty, but you will not be able to see the effect of it until it's daylight. Like if you're outside in the sun, it just looks so beautiful. I don't think the camera will do it justice. Again, this shade is very light, so I have to build the color up quite a bit. You can see here it's not super intense, but you can absolutely build the color and it's beautiful. I did bring the blush all the way down here just to see how it looks over the pores, and I don't think it necessarily emphasizes it. It reminds me of the Chanel blushes. Kind of the same effect, like the dual blush highlighter thing. I feel like it's a very similar, if you combine these two, you get something similar. Let's take the shade 03 Coral. The only thing with this one, when I first put it on, it looked like it had a lot of gold shift. And I feel like with both of these, the more you kind of work through that top layer, the less glow you're going to have. I don't think the glow just goes away. I think it's throughout. But more of that intense shift, I think it's going to go away. So let's put the coral here. They're both sheer in the beginning, and then you slowly build them up. This brush is the N15. Maybe I should use a fluffier brush. I like fluffy brushes. Got my Refer Special Edition, like the really nice Refer blush brush. I don't think they have this one in stock anymore, but it is heavenly. And I think it'll work really well. You see that it's soft, but it's buildable. Mainly this color, I think you can really build up this shade. I think this shade is probably the most popular. Most people like this coral shade, and I completely see why. There's only another shade, and that one seems to be more deeper brown. It's the shade 1. These seem to be the more kind of colory ones. I'm just building this up a little bit more so we can kind of compare the colors. That's beautiful as well. This one also has that glow in it. It's just not as bright and light as the rose. So here we have the shade 02 Rose and the shade Coral 03. What do you guys think? Which one do you like better? I try to kind of mix and match a little bit. I still think this is a little peachy, but let's move on to the highlighter. I have here the Dolce & Gabbana highlighter. I think there's just one shade, and it is this one. Look how beautiful it is. I heard that this is similar to the Camellia, is that the name of it? The Chanel one that's discontinued. But I remember that one being a little bit more rosy, and this one, when I swatched it, do you see that it has that gold in it? It's soft, it's very elegant, but alas, there is some gold in it. It's a beautiful champagne shade, and this one I was able to pick up in person. I wasn't really sure if I wanted this just because I don't wear a ton of highlighter, but it's beautiful, and the packaging is also very Dolce & Gabbana-ish. It's nice. It's very different than the bronzer, and the bronzer actually feels heavier than this one, but the packaging is still very, very beautiful. The highlighter has no glitter in it. It's very soft. It's very beautiful, and let me show you. I am going to take this Refer number 20. Go in there. I will take some off though, because even though it's like soft and beautiful, it can pack a punch. And so I'm gonna go right here. Can you see? It's kind of hard because we have that blush highlighter, but let's put it right here. Okay, you see that? It's really, really beautiful, and definitely soft enough where I can kind of put it all over, even around my pore area. I don't feel like it emphasizes anything. I have had this highlighter for a few weeks and tested it out, and I kind of learned that I like to wear it when I barely have blush, or a blush that's more subdued, more nude, just so the highlighter can have its moment. It's so soft and beautiful, kind of feels like a liquid highlighter on the cheek. It's really, really pretty. I think this is another one that even though it's pricey, I still think it's worth the money. You get a ton of product and it's so finely milled that I can kind of put it on my forehead as well. I want to say it's again around the $50-something mark, which is a lot for a highlighter. It's a very expensive, but it is a luxury makeup. You get the luxury packaging, and I think this is beautiful. I almost forgot that I mentioned that I would put a little bit of my Sisley powder. I'm gonna use a very small brush. This is an old Wayne Goss. I think it was the airbrush powder or something. I don't remember the name, but it's discontinued. I've seen that he came out with a new brushes, which I am curious, but I'll take this small brush, take some of the product out, and just go and powder certain areas right here, where there's more pores, and around here. I like this powder when it's lightly used. If you use too much, I really don't like it. It gets just too heavy, but when you're soft with it, I think it has a really, really pretty effect. Is this powder worth it? For me personally, it's not worth it. I probably wouldn't recommend you go and buy this one. It's pretty, but I do find the need to be extra careful with it, to not over apply. If I put it under foundation, it looks pretty, but I always forget to do that. It just ends up being a powder that I forget about, honestly, and it's not cheap at all. If you guys have this and it's your go-to, let me know how you're using it. I think this powder can be a little bit confusing, and I just don't reach for it. I kind of wish I didn't buy it. I filled in my brows real quick. I don't have anything extra luxurious when it comes to brows. And then for the eyes, I really don't have a new palette or anything that's extra luxurious, but I think today I'm going to use my Chanel single shadows. I've had so many questions in my maybe 2-3 videos ago of the eye look that I was wearing, and it was these 3 single shadows from Chanel. I am starting off with the shade 240. Every time I wear this eye look, I get questions about it in the comments, and it is so easy. I do it quite often. First of all, this is one of my favorite one and done kind of shadows. It gives a lot of impact, but it blends in so easily. I love the tone of it. And even though the look we're doing today is a little bit more taupey cool tone, I do like to pair it with this brown right here. It is awesome. Sometimes I just do that and I'm done. And again, Chanel is very luxurious. I think these are $40 for just one shade. So that's very luxurious if you ask me. Okay, so I'm putting this all over. It looks a little bit crazy, but then we are taking this shade right here. This is the 236 Brune Talpa. It is this beautiful kind of taupey color, and putting it pretty much everywhere. And it blends so well with that brown. I always forget that these have the little mirrors, and it's actually very user-friendly. It's not so small that you can't use them. So I put it all the way in the crease, take my initial blending brush. You'll see that I pretty much only use one fluffy brush for this look. Then blend it in. You can go again. And then I will take this one under the eyes right here as well. Kind of like that. On top of that, I am taking this topper. This is a 220 Blank Pearl, and it has this kind of pinky, peachy shift. And I put that one smack in the middle, right there. And this brightens up the look a little bit and gives kind of some more dimension. And I put it a little bit in the crease. I don't take it everywhere. I try to focus it mainly in the center. And I did the same thing right under here. And that is it. That's all I do on my eyes. I will put mascara, and that will really frame the eye. I will tight line most of the time on the top lashes, but that's it. That's all I do for the eyes. Talking about mascara, I do have another luxurious mascara that I bought during the Nordstrom anniversary sale, and I'm talking about the Chantecaille mascara. This is the one that has the peptides in it that will help grow your lashes as well. They had a deal, get 2 for, I don't know, maybe $100, which is extremely expensive, but I think this one is around $78 by itself. So I was so curious about this mascara for years and years, and I didn't want to spend the money on it. But this time around, I did not purchase pretty much any beauty, some skincare or body care items from the Nordstrom anniversary sale, but this, I think, is the only makeup item that I picked up. So let's try this on. I have been testing this out. I did not want to come in here and have zero expectation, mostly when we're talking about such expensive products, but this is another one where I hate to admit how much I like it. It is fabulous. It does not smudge on my lower lashes, which is incredible. It is a very light, like it doesn't weigh down my lashes. And look, I barely put any on and it's already very impactful. I've been wearing it, not every day, but I've been wearing it a lot, and I do feel like my lashes, I don't know if I'm making this up, but I feel like my lashes look so long. To me, they look longer. So this is one layer with mascara and with nothing. And when I mean a layer, I mean I didn't put it back in the tube to get more product out. I just worked whatever was on the tube or on the bristles on my lashes. Here are 2 layers of the mascara, and I really like the effect. I think it's pretty. It's soft, yet it gives volume and definition and length. The thing that I love most about this is how it feels. Like, I don't even feel like I have mascara on. You know, sometimes you have those mascara where it's so heavy. These feel extra, extra light. Is this mascara worth it? I don't know. I think with the aspect of it having that growth serum and peptides in it that will help your lashes grow, I can see how that could be worth it if you wear mascara every day and that will help your lashes grow. I think it's worth it. I think the effect is beautiful and I really like it. Would I repurchase this? Yes, I think I would. Mostly during the Nordstrom anniversary sale where you can get 2 for around $100, I think. The last product is a lip product and I have a new one. This is the Dolce Gabbana, their liquid lip. And you would be so proud of me. I did not pick a nude. I actually picked a nude first. I was at the checkout and I was like, no, let me swap it. So I got this beautiful pink bright color. What is the name of this? It's called Affection 205. So I have not opened this yet, but I did swatch this in store. First of all, the packaging is so beautiful. I actually really like this little thing here, and I usually like simple packaging, but for this, I feel like it works. It makes it look really nice. And let's swatch the color. It is that pink right there. Ooh, will it clash with my look? Let's try it on. So the formula of this is quite light, a little bit moussey from what I remember. Let's put it on first and then I'll tell you. Let's do the top. Yeah, it feels nice and kind of moussey. Kind of reminds me, oh, I messed that up. Reminds me a little bit of maybe, I was gonna say Lisa Eldridge, but I think those are thinner and more liquidy. This is more moussey. And maybe the Gucci liquid lips. Maybe those. That is the color. What do you guys think? I actually really like the color. I would pair this with a simple eye, maybe Jess mascara and this blush from Sicily. I think I would enjoy that more. I think it's a lot on the eyes, it's a lot on the lips right now, but I do really like the color. I think it's so beautiful. Let's see if it dried down. Okay, there's no transfer at all, which I like to see. It has dried down. It doesn't feel very drying though. I'm actually liking this formula. I don't think it's something that I don't have in my collection. Again, the Gucci ones remind me of this. Maybe the Charlotte Tilbury liquid lip. This is a little bit more moussey and it dries down completely. Those don't dry. So this stays on much better than the other one, and I know that because I did test this color in store and I wore it that day and it actually lasted really well. I think we need a little bit more of the pink blush. I don't like that there's that peach in there. I feel like it's clashing with the lip. Should I swap the lip? I think the majority of you guys are gonna say to keep the lip. Let me know in the comments down below. And those are all the luxury products that I wanted to test out. I think there's definitely some good, some bad, some hits, some misses, some in between. I would love to hear your thoughts down below and just have a discussion about these luxurious products. And that's it. Another huge thank you to Idol for partnering with me. I adore the company. I love the pieces. I get asked every single day about my earrings, and so I will leave all that info down below, and that's it. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.